Have you ever been scared playing Minecraft? For most of you, probably not. But when I was a kid, this game made me more afraid than actual horror games. I knew there were monsters in the game, but I had no idea what those monsters actually were. So every night, I'd cower in the nearest cave until morning. And even then, I wasn't safe, since Mojang decided to fill the cave with sounds designed to make children piss their pants. And even after getting used to that, the uneasiness never went away, thanks to the ever-present threat of Herobrine. Now I'm going to rip the bandage off early for all the kids out there. Herobrine isn't in the game, never was in the game, and most likely never will be. Now the idea of Herobrine actually started off as something quite different. On the 30th of July 2010, music discs were added to the game with only 2 songs being available, both created by composer C418, one being Cat, probably the most famous diss track, and the real subject here, 13. 13 is a track consisting of ambient synthesizers, the same ones that play for cave ambience, along with wind, otherworldly clinks, and muffled monster sounds. Obviously intended to be creepy. The very next day, YouTuber Kerchank uploaded this song to their channel, along with a screenshot of a dark Minecraft cave. But in the corner of that screenshot, there are 2 unexplained white dots, like eyes staring directly at you. The same day, Minecraft forum user Flaky posted a story of encountering an entity with glowing white eyes. I think I'm going crazy. I abandoned my mind due to strange shit happening, like blocks coming out of nowhere, and my torches going missing. It was really strange. The stranger thing was there wasn't a single monster or slime or anything down there. There was a lot of minerals. Quite a lot of cave ambience that I'd never heard before. Must have been included in the Friday update, I don't know. But yeah, I abandoned it because it really creeped me out for some reason. The strange thing is though, I still hear the cave ambience quite far away from the mine. But recently I've been hearing strange things around the building I built around it. It feels like whispers. It's strange really. I feel like going back down there, but I really don't want to because of the creepy shit that happens down there. Plus I'd need a lot more torches. It just seems like the cave is alive and angry at me. I just decided to go down there one day. One last time to see if I could get any stuff I could before really abandoning it. I couldn't find a single one of my torches I left down there before I abandoned it. I don't know what's happening to them, but shit. This just made me want to leave the cave even more. I spent about 2 minutes inside, and I noticed I couldn't hear anything. The ambience stopped. At this point, I was pretty creeped out and decided to leave before it went dark. I left and turned and looked at it, and then all of a sudden, the hole went dark, as if one of my torches was removed. I just fucking ran without looking back. I heard another creepy ambient sound while I ran away. I had to stop it all. The next day, I heard another ambience noise that I hadn't heard before, but it was like someone was whispering something. It was drawing me towards the cave, but I just went further away from it. I remembered I had a few buckets of lava left in my chest back in the base, so I decided I would flood it, but not while it was this dark. So I waited for the next day. While it was night, I went to the top of my wooden shack kind of thing to look around, just out of curiosity. I looked towards the creepy as fuck cave. I couldn't even look at it without getting creeped out. I thought I saw something in the window of the building over the cave, but it was probably just my eyes fucking with me. I hope. I went back into my shack until the sun came up. I was ready to rid the world of that fucking cave. I got my buckets of lava and a few water, and I started going towards the cave. I could already hear it talking to me. It knew what I was doing. I opened the cave opening and slowly walked in a little to the point where it was a drop, not too far into the cave, and started to pour the lava down there. I gave it a minute before I poured water on it to seal it with obsidian, that it should close forever. As I was doing this, I heard one final ambience that suddenly stopped halfway through. As creepy as it sounded, I felt good, because I knew it would be the last one I hear of that cave. So it's been a few days since I sealed that damn cave. Everything's as it should be. Not creepy ambience or anything like that. I farmed some bamboo and cactus. Everything was going great. I was able to play Minecraft without it being creepy and terrifying. I was running pretty low on cobblestone and iron. I knew that I'd have to start mining again, and I was pretty scared of mining directly into that cursed cave, or whatever it was. So I decided that I would make a bigger base further away from my current one, so I knew I wouldn't come into contact with that cave ever. I was forced to clear out some trees for wood before leaving so I could make it out of wood. About a day later, I was finished and ready to start mining. I decided it would be best to make the mine part of my home, so that I knew it was part of my home and I always felt safest at home. So I began mining my slightly damaged diamond pickaxe. I got further and further down, making a stairway on the way down, until I mined one block below me and fell into a very dark, long cave. My heart skipped a beat. It couldn't be the same cave, could it? I immediately put about 5 torches all around me so I could see properly. I looked left to right. I haven't been here before because there was a few blocks of iron, and I don't usually miss any iron blocks. I was glad, because I know I'd be mining with iron pickaxes when my diamond one breaks. The fall down into the cave did hurt though, but it was no major wound, and I would be fine if I ran into any creatures down here. I quickly went down to my left into the dark abyss, dropping the odd torch here and there to be safe until I hit a dead end. It was quite unusual, because it was literally a dead end. A complete 3x3 square of rock, like it was put there as a seal. It quickly struck me that it was blocking off another cave network. The cursed cave. It couldn't be, right? I mean, I'm far away from that place. I decided I would head back to where I fell in, and go the other way to see what was down there. It looked longer and bigger than the other way, so I left to get more torches. It also struck me that none of my torches were disappearing, which made me feel safe, even though there was a lot of unexplored darkness down there. I deposited all my cobblestone and made a few iron pickaxes to be safe, so I could be down there longer. By this time, it was night, and I could see a few creepers outside, but I was safe in my new home. I descended back down into the cave and down the dark path, lighting my way with torches I had until it reached a big, black drop. It was pretty deep, and I would have to have some way down, but I had no cobblestone. Instead of heading back to get some cobblestone from the chest, I just mined the rock around me, which would be easier. Maybe not faster, but easier indeed. I mined away until I hit cobblestone. Mossy cobblestone. I was quite excited because this would have been my first dungeon. I was prepared too, since I had some cooked pork and an iron sword. I mined the cobblestone away to see nothing but darkness. I put down a torch, and to my surprise it was completely empty. No monsters, just a few chests and a strange block in the center of the room. I was quite puzzled, because I haven't seen any monsters in this cave as of yet. Whatever. I mined my way inside to have a closer look at the strange block in the center of the room. It was like a fireplace, except there was something spinning inside of it. I had no idea what it was. It looked like the letter L but backwards, with a static-like texture. It was really strange because I would have expected something more of a challenge to get some pretty good items. I checked the first chest, completely empty, which was disappointing. I turned around to check the other chest, and there was this unusual item I'd never seen before. It was a black disc. I'd never seen anything like it before. It had circle marks around it like a vinyl record. Then all of a sudden, I heard the single most creepiest cave ambience ever. It sent shivers down my spine. I knew I had to get out immediately. I look around to the exit, and as I do I notice a 1x2 hole which strangely wasn't there before. What the fuck is going on? I put down a torch so I could inspect the hole further. I knew I had to get out of there, but I just couldn't. Strangely enough, I got closer to the hole and looked around. It was dark, empty. It was the cursed cave. I blocked the hole with cobblestone and turned to make my way out. I exited the dungeon into the 3x3 corridor, which was pitch black. The torches were gone. I looked back to the dungeon. The torch was gone. The only light was coming from the torch by my foot, and then another loud cave ambience came from in front of me. It was mocking me, laughing. I was terrified. I couldn't move, but I knew I had to get out of there and go as far away as possible from this terrible place. I started running, placing as many torches as possible on the walls to keep in the light. I could see the light of my stairway. I rushed up to my now cursed home, ran outside and kept running away. That's all I could do. I got far away, but my house was in seeing distance. I looked closer and the door was closed. The door, which was open, closed. I couldn't go further. I wanted to be able to see it, making sure it didn't change or anything else. I built a makeshift shack which faced my old home. I liked to look at it. I don't know why, but I enjoyed viewing it. Then, all of a sudden, I remember that strange disc I found in the cave. It must be a vinyl, and I had to play it. Maybe it was something to do with that cave. I thought about how I could craft something to play it, and then I remembered my stuff was back at my house. I didn't want to go back there, but I had to. I knew that if I had something like a chip of diamond, it might be able to play the vinyl. I had a few chips of diamond back there which would work. I went outside. It was getting dark, but I couldn't last another night with this mystery scarred into my mind. I had to find out. I just ran. I didn't look out for any monsters. I just ran straight for my home. I just wanted to go in, get the things I need, and leave and never go back. I go to the door, still closed. The whole house was dark. The torches were gone. I opened the first chest near the door, and I managed to get a few pieces of wood and a few cobblestone, but no diamond. I must have put it on the mining room. I slowly go towards the door which separated my house from the mine, and I opened it. The sound of the door open creaked and echoed throughout the mine. I felt like just running away, but I had to get the diamond. I opened the chest and got the bits of diamond that I had. I couldn't resist just having a peek down into the mine. I slowly poked my head down. It was dark. Nothing could be seen, except for two white dots next to each other, like eyes. Something was down there, looking into my eyes. It felt like I was looking at death itself. I went dizzy and fell backwards into a solid object. The door, which was open just seconds ago. I bashed my way through it and through the other door outside. It was still night, but I didn't care. I ran back to my shack with my heart pounding and my chest like it wanted to escape life. I got in and closed my door, destroyed my windows, the door, everything that could let me see the outside world, and placed as many torches as possible. I didn't want to see any darkness again. I went into a corner and sat there, terrified. Why me? Why didn't this happen to anybody else? I didn't want to do anything else until the sun came up. I couldn't even tell if it was day yet. I just sat there in fear until I heard a sign that it was day. The bar of sheep. It was a welcoming sound. I used my diamond pickaxe to break away what used to be the door. As I did, it broke into several pieces. It served me well. The first thing I did when I got outside was look at that horrible place. It was closed. I could see the darkness through the windows. I didn't want to look. What if something was watching me from there? I went back inside and started work on my device to play this disc. After a few minutes, I made something stable that was able to play it. I got the disc and looked at it. It was dark and didn't reflect any light. I knew this thing was evil. I put the disc inside the machine. It started to play. It finished. The sound went static. I was lost. What did I just listen to? It was like someone took the sound of 1,000 dying miners and solidified it into this disc. The vinyl needs to be destroyed. Maybe it's the source of all this. This weird stuff comes from this disc. I need to destroy it. It has to be destroyed. I need to throw it into a pit of lava. But the only lava I've ever found was in that cave. I can't go back there. I don't have enough time to find another cave. It'll just be a waste of time. I can't go back to that place, can I? I mean, if I take enough torches to get to the lava and destroy it. What about those eyes? What if I see them again? What if I get close to them? I really can't do this. Not by myself, but I have to. What if I was just seeing things? What if it wasn't really there? Yeah, that's what it is. My mind was playing tricks, that's all. I'm going there next sunrise and I'm going to make it out at sunset. I am destroying that disc. I have to prepare. I open my nearly empty chest. The only things in the chest are a few blocks of cobblestone, 2 iron pickaxes, and some wood. I think I have enough torches to get me there and back. I think I'm ready. There's nothing else I need. The sun is starting to come up. I have to make my move now so I don't waste any time and I can get out as early as possible. I grab the disc and start running towards the house. I quickly open the door and close it. It's dark and the only light is coming from the 2 windows next to the door. All of a sudden, I hear a voice. It's coming from the disc and it wants to go back into its chest. It's trying to reason with me. I will not listen. I light up the room with a torch. I'd need to make sure I don't use too many. I enter the mining room and slowly descend into the cursed cave. I look back up to the darkness and the torches are still disappearing. I get into the cave and begin slowly going towards the pit, making sure I use my torches efficiently. I hear a ghoulish laugh behind me in the pitch black and 2 white eyes were there. I freeze. I can't move. I'm locked into a staring contest with the eyes. I hear whispers from all around me telling me to go closer. I can't. I must resist. I turn and run, using torch after torch, forgetting that I have a limited supply until I reach the pit, nearly falling in. I grab the wall as I nearly lose balance. I put the final torch down and take a quick look behind me. There was still a few torches up, not being broken. I couldn't see the eyes, which was a good thing, I guess. I can see the dungeon from here. So very dark. What if I do put the disc back? What if it all stopped? What if we could make a deal? Did I just say we? What's going on with me? I need to destroy this disc. I throw a few cobblestone blocks down until I can slowly step down before I put a torch down. I see the eyes again, in the pit, looking up at me. The music begins to play again. In my head, I want it to stop. I hear whispers in the music, cries for help. They want to be back in the chest where it's peaceful. No, they can't be free. I'm destroying this disc. I realize I'm in complete darkness. I put down a torch and look back into the pit. The eyes are closer, bigger. I put down another torch, look back and they're gone. I'm seeing things. I know they can't be real. I get further down. I can see light. It has to be lava. I'm so close I can barely believe it. I get to the bottom. I can see lava in the distance. I run towards it, disc in hand, and then suddenly, I stop. I can't go any further. The disc won't let me. What am I doing? I can't destroy this. What am I doing? I can't destroy this. I need to put it back into the chest. Yes, back to resting for you, little disc. Just up these stairs and we'll have you back home. I'm a good miner, aren't I? We've been through a lot. We don't want that to end, do we? No, we don't. Here, we're home. You're home. Back where you belong. What did I just do? What have I done? The dungeon's sealed. This can't be happening. This can't be how it ends. It's getting warm in here. So warm. It's burning. Why is it so hot? I just want it to live. 13.ogg. If you liked this video, I'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. Last time I uploaded about a month ago, sorry about that, I had around 80 subscribers, and now I am getting close to 500, which is crazy. So if we reach 500 from this video, I will be incredibly happy about it. Forum user Endorphin posted a thread stating that whenever these recently added cave sounds would play, 2 glowing white pixels would appear. The video was also linked in the thread as an example. The phenomenon was given the name White Eyes and was thought to be a female creature who would stalk players from afar, with their only feature being disembodied eyes. Looking at a recreation of Flaky's original description of the entity made by Ozzy Flowell, it was portrayed as half spider, half skeleton, completely black in colour, and the titular white eyes. As the urban legend spread, it began to be modified. On August that year, less than a month later, a very similar story began to emerge, this time being a default player skin with pure white eyes. The name had been changed to Herobrine, and was rumoured to be the dead brother of the creator of Minecraft, Notch, manifesting as a spirit within the game. The exact origin of the story is unknown, with the earliest known instance being this 4chan post on the paranormal board. I had recently spawned in a new world in single-player Minecraft. Everything was normal at first, as I began chopping down trees and crafting a workbench. I noticed something move amongst the dense fog. I have a very slow computer and have to play with tiny render distance. I thought it was a cow, so I pursued it, hoping to grab some hides for armor. It wasn't a cow though. Looking back at me was another character with the default skin, but his eyes were empty. I saw no name pop up, and I double checked to make sure I wasn't in multiplayer mode. He didn't stay long. He looked at me and quickly ran into the fog. I pursued out of curiosity, but he was gone. I continued with the game, not sure what to think. As I expanded the world, I saw things that seemed out of place for the random map generation to make. 2x2 tunnels in the rocks, small, perfect pyramids made out of sand in the ocean, groves of trees with all their leaves cut off. I would constantly think I saw the other player deep in the fog, but I never got a better look at him. I tried increasing my render distance to far whenever I thought I saw him, but to no avail. I saved the map and went onto the forums to see if anyone else had found the pseudo player. There were none. I created my own topic telling of the man and asking if anyone had a similar experience. The post was deleted within 5 minutes. I tried again, and the topic was deleted even faster. I received a PM from the username Herobrine, containing one word: stop. When I went to look at Herobrine's profile, the page 404'd. I received an email from another forum user. He claimed that the mods can read the forum user messages, so we were safer using the email. The emailer claimed he had seen the mystery player too, and had a small directory of other users who'd seen him as well. Their worlds were littered with obviously man-made features as well, and described their mystery players to have no pupils. About a month had passed until I heard from my informant again. Some of the people who had encountered the mystery man looked into the name Herobrine, and found it to be frequently used by a Swedish gamer. After some further information gathering, who was revealed to be the brother of Notch, the game's developer, I personally emailed Notch and asked him if he had a brother. It took him a while, but he emailed me back a very short message. I did, but he is no longer with us. Notch. I haven't seen the mystery man since our first encounter, and I haven't noticed any changes to the world other than my own. I was able to press print screen when I first saw him. Here's the only evidence I have of his existence. Attached to the story was the first documented image of Herobrine. A streamer known as Copeland came across this story and decided to stage a hoax. He changed the texture of one of Minecraft paintings to look like Herobrine, and placed it into one of his builds to come across briefly before running and quickly ending the stream around 20 minutes in. He pretended to be afraid and shaken up and spread the stream around Minecraft forums. In retrospect, how did anyone believe this? It looks so dumb and so bad. It clearly isn't a 3D model in any way. Like, some people were skeptical, but this is the video that really popularized the legend, and it looks like that. Copeland would continue to stream after removing the painting, pretending to be afraid, and then deleted the world, stating his reason being fear of Herobrine. Another streamer by the name of Patimuss made a stream encountering Herobrine by some lava, this time freestanding and away from a wall. This is believed to be a retextured door instead of a painting. He was heard talking to his wife, stating that he was trolling.
I'm busy trolling 76 people.
This pissed off Copeland because it basically outed Herobrine as a hoax. Copeland also posted the link ghostinthestream.net/him.html around this time. It displayed a creepy image of Steve with real moving human eyes, along with incomprehensible blocks of text. After removing the non-alphabetical characters, a hidden message can be revealed. It has been reported that some victims of torture during the act would retreat into a fantasy world in which they could not wake up. In this catatonic state, the victim lived in a world just like their normal one, except they weren't being tortured. The only time they realized that they needed to wake up was a note they found in their fantasy world. It would tell them about their condition, and tell them to wake up. Even then, it would often take months until they were ready to discard their fantasy world, and please wake up. This is word for word taken from another very popular creepypasta that you're probably very aware of. The implication being that you are said torture victim, this is your fantasy world, and this is the note. There could be another layer, considering Minecraft is a work of fiction, literally a fantasy world, but honestly, I don't think the streamer was thinking that hard. He just took another popular scary story and included it in his. Now we're going to take a break from the history and talk about exactly what made Herobrine such a huge phenomenon. Sure, creepypasta was huge at the time and oh shit, right, it's been 10 years. So creepypasta comes from the word copypasta, which is a large block of text that is copied and reposted all over the internet. Creepypasta is just that, but scary. Now, the concept of a ghost inside a game was huge. Bend Around, Sonic.exe, basically one for every game ever made. But Herobrine actually predates the most well-known stories in the subgenre. In fact, the only ones that came out before Herobrine were 2 Pokemon stories that came out earlier in 2010. So Herobrine was an early adopter, but not the earliest, and yet is still more well-remembered than a story like Pokemon Black. Why? I mean, Minecraft was, and still is, huge, but arguably, Pokemon is bigger. I mean, it's the highest grossing media franchise of all time, amassing 98.8 billion USD, compared to Minecraft's measly 3.3 billion USD. Yeah, just 3 billion. Pocket change, really? Herobrine had something different, though. While most of these stories involved a specific copy of the game being haunted, Herobrine was supposedly in every copy. At any moment, Herobrine could come into your game. Anyone could encounter him. He felt less like a one-off scary story and more like a real threat that anyone could encounter at any time, as long as the game was open. That's why so many of these stories fell to time when Herobrine didn't. They were one-offs, a singular story that you read once and then forget about. Except Sonic.exe, by all logic that should have been forgotten, but Sonic fans are fucking psychopaths. Herobrine has a lot of mass appeal in its design. It's so simple, just Minecraft Steve with whited out eyes, that it can easily be translated to anything and be recognisable while not being out of place. Something like the Bend Around Link figure, while being much more visually disturbing, really only fits in with the context of Bend Around, and Majora's Mask, because it's directly from there. So because of the reasons I just stated, which you would know if you were paying attention, I see you on your phone, Jason, put it down. The concept of Herobrine completely exploded. People began to make their own videos, screenshots, stories, and kids were eating it up. The belief that Herobrine was real spread so far that people were asking Notch, in person at Minecon, if he was real. After many wishy-washy statements, he finally confirmed that Herobrine would never be added to the game, after being asked multiple times by a wiki admin who was tired of the Herobrine-based arguments. By the way, shout out to the Minecraft Wiki. This video would be a nightmare to research without it due to how much of the early information is just straight up missing from the modern internet. In fact, the history of Herobrine is so comprehensive that it's proving really hard to write this video without just repeating what the wiki says. In December of 2010, the first of many mods was released. I Love You by T. Kelly is a server plugin that has you summon Herobrine by building this structure. The Herobrine altar is probably the most recognisable thing about the story other than the guy himself, due to how many mods just copied the altar. After summoning Herobrine, he would basically do the exact same things he was said and shown to have done before, with a few extra quirks. He would place redstone torches, build weird little dungeons, and teleport behind you. These all became the most common characteristics applied to Herobrine within the community. Past this, Herobrine's popularity continued, but he didn't change much. He did some new things, placing signs, spawning mobs, but as a scary story, it was pretty set in stone around the start of 2011. And while there was a fucking lot of media made for him, it's pretty redundant to talk about. I'd be making a 27-hour long video of me repeating myself while slowly going more insane. Mojang would occasionally reference removing Herobrine in the patch notes as a joke. People would continue to email Notch to ask him about his non-existent dead brother, to the point where he had to automate his email responses whenever Herobrine was mentioned. But Herobrine as a scary story was pretty much dead. Notice that little caveat? See, Herobrine was no longer a horror story, and was now just a silly character. Minecraft content on YouTube in the 2010s was just as popular as it is now, but it was pretty different. We had Dan TDM, schizophrenically talking to villagers, custom adventure maps were super popular, song parodies, skits. Those last two are super important here, because at the time, something quite common in this style of video was treating Notch like a god, with Herobrine representing a devil-like influence. Yeah, the internet's relationship with Notch in the 2010s was weirdly cult-like. What probably springs to your mind first is the Fallen Kingdom Minecraft song parody by Captain Sparkles, which involves a Minecraft kingdom being taken over by an army of the undead, led by, who else? Herobrine. It's surprising how quick Herobrine went from being every Minecraft fan's worst nightmare to just some dumb meme, but that's how the internet works. Herobrine still gets mentioned to this day, but I think it's safe to say he's lost any real relevance. He's no longer that shadowy figure lurking in the dark, or that generic villain to be fought. He's not even a big meme anymore. Herobrine these days is only ever really referred to with nostalgia, a pleasant memory, something from the past to be discussed or joked about. Why? Well, partially the passing of time. All trends die eventually. But a big part of it is just that Minecraft is less scary now. Like I said before, I've grown up. I'm a big boy now who isn't afraid of any punk-ass creepers. But I would argue that part of this is objective. Minecraft looks a lot more vibrant and saturated now. The once quite dull-looking game has a lot more visual flair and colourful environments. And the better, more natural textures kind of kill the uncanny feeling the game once had. Caves are now bigger, more open, and more varied. Gone are the days of the long, winding, identical tunnels for something to hide in. Now don't get me wrong, this isn't a bad thing. Minecraft isn't a horror game, and almost all of the things I mentioned made the game better. Despite him never existing, being lied about, argued about, and falling out of relevance, I don't think Minecraft or the internet as a whole would be the same without Herobrine. So next time you see a kid afraid of the newest dumb monster the internet made up, empathise. Don't make fun of them, just distract them from their fear by telling them that both of their parents have died. Ja,